Congressman Ilhan Omar and her allies now using a new tactic against Donald Trump and the GOP. So after the president dinged the freshman rep in a tweet over her insensitive comments about 9/11, the freshman rep said that the mere criticism of her was akin to the incitement of violence. The media echo chamber, of course, was quick to highlight her concerns.
The freshman congresswoman says she has seen an increase in direct threats against her life after President Trump tweeted a video mixing footage of the congresswoman, who is Muslim, giving a recent speech with footage of the 9/11 attacks.
Nancy Pelosi is asking the U.S. Capitol Police to conduct a security assessment for Congresswoman Omar. The speaker is one of many Democrats now accusing the president of trying to incite violence against the first-term lawmaker.
Joining me now is Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire's editor-in-chief and author of the brand new book, The Right Side of History, which is fantastic. Ben, now, this isn't about free speech. This is about downplaying one of the darkest days in our nation's history. Your take.
That's, of course, true, and she has a long history of not taking terrorism particularly seriously. In 2013, she did an interview in Minnesota in which she joked about people taking al-Qaeda and Hezbollah more seriously than they took America and England. And then in 2016, she wrote a letter in which she tried to have a judge be more lenient with people who tried to join ISIS, saying that, of course, these were people who only became violent because of American marginalization. And then in 2017, she wrote a column for Time magazine in which she suggested that America was rooted and founded on slavery and genocide. And in order for us not to look that in the face, instead, we focused on international terror. This is not someone who takes terrorism particularly seriously, so I am bewildered as to why quoting her would constitute some form of violation of her personage. It would be a violation of free speech or something nonsensical like that.
Ben, just so people know what we're talking about here, I want to play that soundbite that you're referencing where she talks about the way people say al-Qaeda. Let's watch. I think
When I was in college, I took a terrorism class. Every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up, and
Yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah. You don't say America with an intensity. You don't say England with an intensity. You don't say the army with an intensity.
Well, and Ben, Pete Buttigieg, we talked about him earlier. He's the new star of the Democrat Party. He's edged out Beto O'Rourke, and now he's taken that spot in the spotlight. He talked today about the consequences of otherizing people like her. I thought you'd love this. Let's watch.
One of the worst things that's happening right now is otherizing people. And if we're wondering whether this has real-world consequences, look no further than what happened not long ago in New Zealand. And yes, by the way, the president demonizing Representative Omar is part of this. It's dangerous and it's got to stop.
Otherizing, Ben.
Well, very odd, since Representative Omar has 3 times in the last 3 months been chided for openly anti-Semitic statements, and then the Democratic Party has defended her. I'm amused to watch as the Democratic Party suggests that criticism and quoting of Ilhan Omar amounts to violent incitement, where Representative Omar can say whatever Jew-hating thing she wants on a daily basis, and that is not incitement. Now, I agree, it's not incitement in either case, but to pretend that it is incitement when it's stuff you don't like, and it's not incitement when it's stuff that you do, seems pretty irresponsible at the mildest.
Ben, thank you so much. Great to have you on tonight.
The new leader of the Democrats, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, now continuing her far-left crusade against anything, everything President Trump, but there's one itsy-bitsy problem. Reality just keeps getting in the way. Now, she was recently asked about her top 3 reasons to impeach the president. She had a little trouble answering the question. Kind of becoming common. Take a look.
You could reach in a bag and pull so many things out that are impeachable of this president. I support impeaching this president.
2 and 3?
2 and 3. I think 2 would be tax fraud. Mm-hmm. And number 3, man. I mean, there's just so much.
Okay. Let me ask you.
Like the census, there's, I can't even, the tax bill, it's like, there's just so much.
It's just so many things that I can't find one. I'm working on it. All right, also ramping up her radicalism on foreign policy and taking aim at one of our most important allies. Take a look at this.
I think what we're really seeing is the ascent of authoritarianism across the world. I think that Netanyahu is a Trump-like figure.
Would you be in favor of reducing military or economic aid to Israel?
I mean, I think it's on the table. I think it's certainly on the table, and I think it's something that can be discussed.
Now, while the Democratic primary is just beginning, Ocasio-Cortez is already making one thing clear. She doesn't want Joe Biden to be the nominee. Oh, boy. I guess she decides, not Nancy Pelosi. Take a look.
This idea that we can go back to the good old days with Obama's vice president, and I think, you know, there's an emotional element to that, but I don't want to go back. I want to go forward.
Here with reaction, founder of Skybridge Capital, Anthony Scaramucci, Fox News contributor Rachel Campos-Duffy is with us. All right, Mooch. By the way, good to see you, man.
Hey, great to be here, Sean.
All right, so there's so many things, but
where do you want to start?
I mean, I'll start there.
Well, I would say AOC out of New York ASAP. That would be my first thing to say. But secondarily, I think Nancy Pelosi, whose daughter said that she could cut somebody's throat without them even feeling it, is going to take her out. I don't think there's any chance.
Well, she says there's only 5 of these extremists in her party, but she's scared to death of the 5.
You think so, though? I don't know about that. I think
there's 100 supporting the new Green Deal.
She's a remarkably successful survivor in Washington, and she's old school. And this sort of behavior, I don't think is going to last very long. It's just my honest opinion. They'll find somebody to challenge her in that district. Crowley will probably not come back, but somebody more moderate, I think, will take her lights out.
I don't know.
Also, she destroyed herself with this whole Amazon thing. So she's colorful. She's got some interesting ways to attract attention to herself. But I think New York's getting tired of her pretty quickly.
Well, we'll see. What did you make of Pelosi's comment in her little fluffball interview, Rachel, on 60 Minutes? Well, there's only 5. But when it comes to Congresswoman Omar and Tlaib and Ocasio-Cortez, Nancy Pelosi doesn't seem to have or shown any ability to stand up to them.
But Nancy Pelosi isn't with the Democrat Party. The heart of the Democrat Party is with Representative Ilhan Omar and with Alexandria Cortez. And by the way, the socialist Bernie Sanders is the #1 presidential candidate right now. I mean, he's got all the energy. The Democrat Party is a socialist party. So when Ocasio-Cortez says we don't want to go backwards, yeah, she means we don't want an old white man Biden, but she also means we want to embrace socialism wholly, completely. And what the economically ignorant Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez doesn't understand, even though she has a degree in economics from Boston U, shame on you, Boston U, is that socialism is going backward. Those ideas are old. Those ideas have never worked. And it's a danger for the country, the kind of popularity and mainstreaming that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders have right now, whether Nancy wants to admit it or not.
Anthony, besides crazy, creepy Uncle Joe Biden, which he'll have to deal with, the hardest thing he's going to have to deal with is, you're going to bring back the same policies on giving mullahs $150 billion so they can buy and foment terror and fight proxy wars.
Remember, he's got the Ukraine issue as well. He's got to address that.
That's a huge issue.
You know, I told your friend Jesse that he's male, he's pale, and he's stale. Okay, unlike you. You happen to be male and pale, but you're very not stale, Sean. So you have to understand, I think the guy's...
It's great to have you back. We've missed you in a while.
Let you know.
All right, but here's the thing. Look, economics is your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
New Green Deal. Okay, we're going to get rid of oil and gas, the lifeblood of our economy.
Mm-hmm. Cow flatulence.
The combustion engine.
Yep.
Then everything's going to be free. Everything. Right. Whether you're willing or unwilling to work. Then the cars.
Yeah.
Then after that, airplanes. I don't know how we're going to get to it.
We forgot the cows, but I think this is like a fabulous thing because, like,
I like steak. You own a restaurant.
Well, I have a hunt and fish club. I
should have known. You have everything.
I got to tell you, I mean, you know, I just love all this stuff because it's like great for the president. I mean, at the end of the day, people look at that and they'll say, okay, maybe not going to tell my friend in L.A. that I'm voting for him, but then when they close the booth, he has the reverse Bradley effect. People say they're not going to vote for the president. They close the curtain and they vote for the president.
You cannot poll Donald Trump accurately.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I think he wins by 60%. If they keep it up, it's a step function about the amount of percentage that he'll win by.
Quick last response.
I missed you, Sean.
keep shining a light on the hypocrisy of these socialists with very rich tastes. She lives in an apartment with an infinity pool on the penthouse. Bernie Sanders loves to fly private jets, so they talk a good game. But he even said today on the town hall that he is not interested in paying the tax rate that he proposes right now. So they're hypocrites.
Yeah, you know, don't do as I do, do as I say. You know, great. And I'm a millionaire, but liberals are only generous with other people's money. So that's the number one rule.